Finally, an article about why women are single. Men suck. Finally, they're saying it. I've been waiting for this article. Because there's like some hardcore PR stuff going on trying to convince women just get married. You'll be happier. It benefits you. My favorite, because the most dangerous person in the world are broke men who are alone. It's up to women to fix this problem. Who cares if they're broke, losers, abusive, addicts? Doesn't matter. You owe it to society to marry them anyway. First of all this is rooted in white supremacy culture. Because who they're really talking about is white women here. Whenever they're talking about family values and this crap, they're talking about white men. They need white men married. They don't give a crap about any other men. They definitely don't give a crap about any other woman who's not white. They don't care about us either, unless we are serving them. I'm going to tie all this together in a minute. First, I want to dive into this article because she is calling out all these men and women sometimes who are just pushing for marriage. Despite all the data saying that women who are child-free and single are actually the happiest people, and that even getting married and monogamy won't protect you from a whole lot. Men are more likely to leave you if you get sick. They're just as likely to give you an STI even if you're married. Even after 46 years of marriage, at the age of 70, they'll still leave you. By the way, this woman, happiest years of her life after he left her at 70. I also know that women are more likely to take care of their aging parents in addition to their husbands or their husband's parents. Daughter-in-laws get screwed too. Even if you don't have children, but you marry a man who's the only sibling or some other situation, you may be taking care of his parents. We also know that men sleep better next to a woman, but women sleep worse next to men. So not only do men ruin our careers oftentimes because they make us center them, and then they get all the benefits of marriage and the social capital and all this stuff, and then if they have kids, it's even bigger. And then ours is derailed, blah, blah, blah. They're going to leave us if we get sick. They're likely to have an affair, weaponize incompetence. It might give us an STI. And if they don't actually unalive us, because the man you're sleeping with is the most dangerous man in your life, statistically, they might unalive you slowly through your nervous system and lack of sleep. Okay, so we already know, who's really benefiting from marriage? It's men. Not always. If a woman finds a man who is doing the hard work on himself, any former trauma, fighting it back against patriarchy, not even just outside the home, but especially inside the home, blah, 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 and he's crazy about it. Unless a woman is married to a man like that and actively makes her life better, he's going to make it worse. He will. And yet this guy, David Brooks, an old dude who left his wife of 28 years, wrote a whole article saying that, you know what, y'all need to stop focusing on your careers and focus on marriage. It's scary that in 1980, 6% of 40-year-olds had never been married, but in 2021, 25%. I am seized by an unfortunate urge to sermonize. I want to put my hand on their shoulder and say, look, blah, blah, blah. Don't obsess about your career. Obsess about marriage. That's what your youth is about. No, don't do this, women. This is what they want. These mountains of evidence show that married people are happier. Men, married men, not women. And then blah, 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 blah. Pause if you want to read this nonsense. That man did interviews and had studies and statistics. Try to scare women into focus on marriage, not your career. Because a career and having money is the only thing that protects women. Not all women want to work. Not all women can work. They don't have childcare. But money is the only thing that gives her the option to leave if and when he becomes abusive, which lots of men do. Do not believe men that are like, stop worrying about money. We know that money is the foundation of liberation, not just for women, for everybody. I don't mean like money, yay. I mean resources, water, food, electricity, basic human needs, which includes money, especially for women married to men who have all the money. Now I want to bring it back to this piece because she calls out all this nonsense. Single women and single moms. You all know how I feel about single moms. I have a special place in my heart. Always. I was raised by a single mom, and I credit her for being the woman that I am because I did not watch a woman center a man in my home. I can't tell you how powerful that was in shaping who I am. Anyway, she's like, look, all these columnists and pundits and stuff are like, marriage, get married, women, for the sake of the children's well-being. Two-parent families are better. Some of them, like Brad here, will write a whole book criticizing the notion that love, not marriage, makes a family. It's marriage. Get married. Why Americans must defy the elites, forge strong families, and save civilization. Y'all, that is literally the same argument they were making back in the day, trying to convince white women to have kids to save civilization. More on that in a minute. Sorry, they're still doing it. They're just, not as obvious now. Try to convince women that two-parent kids fare better on life outcomes compared to those raised by single parents who are overwhelmingly women. Seriously, they hate single moms. And a lot of my mutuals have pointed this out. I'll tag some that come to mind immediately that have recently talked about this. Single moms prove that men are obsolete unless they evolve and grow and have something to offer us. We don't need them. That's why they hate single moms. All of this is to attack women who want kids. You better marry first. Single moms better get remarried. It's all fear, written mostly by cishet white men. But what this article calls out is that all these articles and all this crap fails to recognize the lived experiences of women dating men. And that's why this app has revolutionized me and so many of my mutuals and a lot of people who follow me. Because I believe that's why I tell stories about my life so much. That's just my whole career is about telling my story. What I've been doing professionally for a long time. And apparently a lot of people find it super helpful because our lived experiences and our stories mean way more than all this crap, this statistics. Who's writing these statistics? Who's doing these studies? She points out here, and it's a rare occasion that women are actually asked about their experiences with relationships. And, when they are, they're usually telling something that people don't want to hear. They asked back in the 90s, what's up? Why didn't you want to be married? Honestly, this is very relative today. It is the wrong and alcohol abuse, the criminal behavior, and the consequent incarceration, the repeated infidelity, and the patterns of intimate violence that are the villains looming largest in poor mothers' accounts of relationship failure. Oh, it's all there, y'all. Even if those aren't factors, it can be just as much as this. There are women out there really trying, and a lot of men either aren't ready or they just don't care. And these pundits like that Scott, the bald dude, who is not even a sociologist, by the way. I don't even know what he is, but he should not be talking about lonely men. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Stop giving that man a microphone. Those men will bemoan, I love this, they'll plug marriage and also bemoan the crisis among men and boys, what has been known as the male drift, men turning away from college, failing out of the workplace, not taking care of their health. Even that stuff fails to acknowledge that unlike men, women don't find these men meet up to their expectation. We're not being picky. A lot of times we are giving the lowest standard and they still don't meet up to that. They don't know how to emotionally engage with people. He even talks about how part of that is because their friendships with other men suck, which y'all know I've written about that, based on sports and stuff that don't mean anything. They're not about depth, and they're definitely not about community building. They're just hanging out with dudes, getting drunk with dudes, playing golf, climbing with dudes. There's not even real intimacy. They don't even know how to relate to a lot of women. They lack experience having actual real relationships, and yet they also won't fix that. They want us to fix that. Either we're supposed to fix it, or we're supposed to endure all of the emotional turmoil of them figuring it out. And they leave us anyway, because men don't respect women that put up with their crap. They cheat on them and leave. Or, they unalive us or something else. Even gave an example of why this is so bad. Someone talked about giving kids, teenagers, an assignment. This one assignment asked them to imagine in a detailed essay what the life of someone of the opposite sex was like. Well, girls wrote detailed essays showing all of it, right? Because that's what we've been conditioned to do. That's how we survive patriarchy, is to know the internal and external worlds and the thoughts, anticipate the need, and have a thermometer up the butt of men all the time to stay alive. The same way Black, Indigenous, and other people of color have to do around white people, by the way. All that emotional labor to not die. And what did the boys do? They just refuse to even write the essay. They're like, what? They're pissed they were even asked to write it. The girls do extra. The boys did little or nothing. How relatable is that? Women are freezing their eggs now because they're like, yeah, I've lost hope. Maybe I'll want kids. Also talked about just how hard women are trying to find partners. It is like a full-time job for women, y'all. They hire dating coaches. They read books. They go to seminars and workshops. They spend so much money, not just on their physical appearance and all these things to better their lives, to literally find a person to have kids with. And what are men doing? Mostly nothing, because they don't care. Marriage is the finish line for them. Yet they're not even running to the finish line. They're just whatever, I'm lonely. The ones that we do choose from are alpha male or polyamorous men, which, by the way, I'm not poo-pooing on polyamory. Most cishet men use this the most messed up, dishonest, manipulative way. Basically, leave single women alone. If you want to know why we're not getting married, listen to our experiences. I can comment for part 2.